set you apart from other fountain pen reviewers?
I try to be a little different. I don't try to follow a formula, but I've also got a couple of things. First, I try to bring people along a journey. I don't try to come off as an expert where, day one that I'm the know-it-all about pens. I do try to share, this is my learning experience and this is where my journey is for learning. But also one of the things that you don't see with a lot of other guys is both new and vintage. You'll find that some with Chris Rapp. If you ever watch Chris's videos, I've had the chance to sit down and get to know Chris just a little bit. Chris will do a lot of old vintage pens, and he's got a pretty good collection going. And he does modern pens, and he loves Chinese pens and the engineering behind them. So he does both. And I collect vintage pens as well. So I'll do both vintage and I'll do new stuff as well. That's one of the things that does set me apart. Hold on. One of my children is in my room. Please get out. My youngest is coming into my office yet again. Yeah. It's hard sometimes even to get a chance to record a video because of that. His bedroom is the next room over. But of course, Daddy's in the middle of doing something, so I need to go investigate what he's doing.
Yes, of course.
And I need to try to get the attention.
Yes.
So
well, he got attention.
That's about the fourth time he's come in here just since we've started. No, but what sets me apart, Larry, is simply this. I try to be personable. I try to be upfront and honest. If I don't know, I'll tell people I don't know. But I try to incorporate both new and old, and I don't try to specialize in any one thing. I've got my preferences. I've got brands that I prefer. I was showing you this brand new one I just got today. Yeah. Watermen and Schaefer's from the 1920s are my favorites. I've got two pens from the 1920s here on my desk right now. But then again, I've got, the brand new Esterbrook sitting here on my desk. So I try to do everything in between and try to, hey, these are ideas for your collection kind of thing.
Okay. So real quick on the pen that you just got in, what steel nib or gold nib, what size nib, and is it restored already?
Yeah, this one here is going to be a restored, and you'll see a video of it here eventually.
Okay.
Back Schaefer tended to have gold nibs, like probably I don't recall all the details off the top of my head, but it's probably a 14. No, I tell you what.
I think it is a 14.
This came with it.
Okay.
Actually, so the 1928 Schaefer Jade standard flat top fountain pen, nib range. Firm to medium, gorgeous jade color. Yeah, he didn't write with the nib. If I got out my loop, I could probably tell you what it says right on it. But usually Schaefer was, during that time period, was doing about 14 karat gold nibs. Yeah. Is generally what you had. Right. And they had some were firmer than others. And this one is a fairly firm nib, which I've come to really like firmer nibs, quite honestly. But I just try to give the wide variety.
Okay, so here's one. Can't wait for your input on this one. Have you ever thought about joining with other reviewers and doing a fountain pen top show?
I have thought about it. I know you and I chatted at one point. Something about doing stuff like exactly what we're doing right now. Yeah. Talking once in a while. Yeah, I thought about doing that. There are probably some people out there far more qualified than me. And me. You know what amazes me, Larry? You know what I thought? Literally, when you look at HGTV and you see all these antique shows, and you see people who have become experts on various things, and my wife was just watching something off the DVR where people selling stuff in their home and getting tens of thousands of dollars out of it. There's probably enough interest and probably enough people out there who are legitimately experts who probably we could even do an HGTV TV show, on pen history and pen examples. And there's some people out there that get some fantastic collections. even not too far from where I am, up in New England area. There are people who are very knowledgeable, and those people impress me, by the way, when they can take one quick glance at like a Parker Vacuumatic and tell me that style that style cap band came out in blah blah blah, and that doesn't seem to suit the bottom pen, so that those probably were never matched sets. Okay. If you say so.
I've had those.
I just like it. You know what? If it's a Franken pen, okay. I didn't pay top dollar for it, and it worked great. I'm happy with it. But in terms of being able to just sit down and have talks about pens in general, yeah, sure. I've actually thought about it. And then there's life. Let's see. I've got what you just saw one example. People coming into my office, working 50 to 60 hours a week, plus having a family, plus having kids in and out, plus working full time here. It doesn't always work that well, but yeah, I'm open to the concept.
Here's one. Okay, we've talked a little bit about this, so let's pin it down more. Your youngest boy really got into fountain pens. I remember that day. Yeah. How is he doing with it now?
Well, Matthew always, and I'm assuming we're talking about Matthew, was actually my middle child.
How was he was he 7 or 6?
He was 7 when he really started to take the interest, and he's going to turn 12 this summer, believe it or not.
12?
Yeah, I know. He's 11, going to turn 12 this summer. The first video I did,
Matthew?
The first couple of videos I did with him,
Matthew?
yeah. Oh yeah.
My star.
Oh yeah. He's growing up. He like I said, he doesn't write much, not just with a fountain pen, but with any pen. He almost never picks up a pen to have to write anything anymore. Let me give you an example. My 18-year-old is graduating high school. So a family member gave him a gift for upcoming graduation and for his 18th birthday. He had to write a thank you note. He didn't know how to address an envelope. 18 years old, and he has never written, where does my address go? Where does his address go? And do I put it all in one line? Where does the stamp go? And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. 18 and doesn't know that stuff. It never really had to. I got to thinking, I guess maybe he really hasn't. He's written thank you notes before, and I've been the one to send them. Wow. But good grief. It just boggles my mind, because I was writing when my uncle, when I was his age, my youngest one, when I was their age, I was writing my uncle who was in the Navy.
Yeah.
We'd exchange letters because he was my uncle. We kept in touch. That I had pen pals in Japan. Wow. I was living in New Hampshire, had a pen pal in California. So we exchanged letters all the time. Those things came second nature to us. We learned that stuff.
Yeah.
We were always writing, and my kids here, not so much. They don't pick up a scribble stick at all. They maybe to put something on the shop. Yeah, it's a whole different mentality, whole different day and age.
Well, how about this one?
In terms of that,
go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, in terms of pen preference, he'll pick up a fountain pen usually before he'll pick up a ballpoint kind of thing.
Okay.
They just almost never have to pick up a pen for anything nowadays. It's just baffling.
I guess times have really changed, haven't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we're stuck in an analog world when everything's digital, I guess.
Yeah, bummer. Here's one of it. Okay, I believe I might be wrong. I'm not sure. I believe you are a church deacon, and if so, do you use your fountain pens in conjunction with that?
Okay. I used to be a church deacon years ago, and I am not one anymore. I don't think that church even exists anymore. Okay. That I was a part of, where I was ordained as a deacon. And I've served in a few other churches since then. So as of right now, I don't serve in the capacity of a deacon or an elder. I've been asked to serve over the years, but I have not. So when it comes in terms of that, I was leading a men's group for several years.
Right,
So
remember that.
aside from writing down
Right.
agenda items or taking notes on studies that we were doing, as it relates to that, that was about it. I was teaching kids. So I was always taking attendance and writing stuff down when I was working with the kids at the church. So I always used my pens for that. Other than that, that was about it when it comes to church stuff.
Okay. Well, how about, do you have any favorite pens and inks? That's a hard one. Do you have any favorite pens and inks? That's a hard one for me.
I've got some favorites that I know they're on my top of my list. On one of your groups that you do for your Fort Worth Pen Club online, I shared some of that. But Waterman Edson is always towards the top of my list. I've absolutely loved my Waterman Edson. Waterman Phileas, like I shared earlier, that's always going to be one of my favorites. Great workhorse pen, great writing pen, never failed me at all. Favorite categories, like not just an individual pen, but Red Ripple 1920s Watermans with a number 5, a number 8, number 6, number 7 nib. Love them. Schaefer flat tops from the 20s and 30s. Absolutely love them. Those are some of my favorites. And moderns, I've really liked that Conway Stewart, the Churchill Conway Stewart. This is one of my favorites right here. This sits on my desk all the time. It's a Waterman 67. It's a red. It's not a red ripple, but it's a blue and olive ripple.
Beautiful.
It's a hard rubber pen from the 1920s.
Nib size. What size nib?
This is a beautiful number 7. It's a number 7 nib, and it's a gold nib, but it's a stiff nib. It's a very firm. It's a very firm
beautiful nib on that sucker.
It is, and I keep this inked at all times. Always sits here on my desk. I got a pen holder off to my right here, since I'm right-handed. And I use that incessantly. So I've always got that here on my desk. So I've always got an affinity for the 1920s, to me, which was the heyday of both Schaefer and Waterman production for vintage pens. To me, the 1920s, when you can get the hard rubber pens, to me, is my favorite time period, whether it's the black, the black chased hard rubber, or it's the red ripple, which I have a great affinity for, or the blue ripple in the Watermans. Absolutely love them. And like this jade, the only thing that I wish was different about it is that it was oversized.
Okay.
That's the only thing I wish I could have different on this one, is just that it was bigger. And I've got some bigger
Is that
ones.
size more of a pocket size?
No, this is actually their regular size. They're
okay.
Right. That's their standard size. And I've got one here that's in more of a pearl, a black and pearl, that's oversized. So it's the big brother kind of thing to that. A pattern I don't like as much, but it's really grown on me, but it's oversized. And I love the way it writes, and I love the way it feels. So those are some of my favorites, is out of the 1920s, Schaefer and Waterman.
Real quick, before the pandemic hit, at the Fort Worth Pen Club meeting we were having, Janice was showing me a pen that she had Jim Hines make, a pocket pen. I fell in love with it. So Jim's making me a pocket pen, and I'm going to have, for the first time on his pens, a broad nib. Okay. So, Jim's right now recovering. So, him and I talked a while. There's no hurry. Don't worry about it. When you're able, do it. not a problem. But yeah, I I like large pens. Okay, and my favorite nib is a medium, but I do have some fines and some extra fine nibs. But my extra fine nibs are smooth and they're wet, and that's what I like about them. And because reviewing pens, I have to have a little bit of this and that and that. So that's
Right.
where I'm at. So yeah, but that's a beautiful pen you got there, man. How long have you had that pen? Your
Uh,
desk pen.
4 or 5 months, I think, for that desk pen. I picked up that, and it's like that jade one I just showed you from Antique Digger.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I've been buying from Greg a lot.
yeah, yeah.
If he had kids, I'd be helping put them through college, kind of thing. And so, and so yeah, I use my own discount codes. If people aren't using discount codes to buy pens, I mean, why not? So I'm a big proponent of I'm going to get it as cheap as I can.
Yeah, yeah.
And I might as well take advantage of my own discount codes. But yeah, I buy from Greg a lot, and he one of the things about Greg too is when I've referred people, they've said, "Wow, he's expensive." Well, you know what? He's selective about what he buys.
Yeah.
And what he refurbishes and sells.
Yeah.
So it's going to reflect in the price. It's going to be, the upper end of the creme de la creme of what he finds. And so I understand that when I go to buy them, that I'm not going to get a low end pen that I may buy from somebody else dirt cheap, that it still needs fixing, or if it is refurbished, it's not the top of the line.
So. Yeah. Now, Mr. Announcer is going to get involved and ask you the next one up. Are you ready, Mr. Announcer?
Yes, the question is, have you ever experienced any cliquishness in other fountain pen reviewers?
Cliquishness.
I'm not sure that's a real word.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's kind of an edgy question at times. It could be a little prickly depending upon who it is. But have I? Yes. In any group, you're going to run across those who do the birds of a feather thing. And I have no problem with the idea you've got friends with whom you congregate more than others. I've met people, I've been fortunate enough to have met a bunch of folks who are here on YouTube, who have their own channels, and some of them are what you see is exactly who they are in real life.
Like me.
Because their personality comes through.
Like me.
Yeah, I am who I am all the time. Yeah. I mean, good. You are. That's one of the things. That's why I followed your channel, Larry, is because I saw who you were, and what people see, that's Larry. Yeah. What people see of you on your channel, that is who you are.
Yeah. Same with you. Yeah.
And I try to be pretty much the same way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be natural about it. Who I am is who I am. There are others who, I've run across who they are fairly generic, and when you meet them, they may have the personality of a plate of cold spaghetti. So they're not naturally ones who would be gregarious. They may tend to be a little more misanthropic than be gregarious about things. But I've met some who are standoffish, that they've stuck with, and some that won't even say hello. One of the things about the fountain pen community, Larry, is I think you'll agree, is it's people across all walks of life. It doesn't matter. Just within the fountain pen community, I know people who are Christian, Jewish, who are Buddhists, homosexual, straight, black, white, European, African. It doesn't matter. We all have a common interest in things that we like.
Yeah,
I know people who are very right, and we all have something similar something in common when it comes to a hobby. And I don't have great discrimination about that when it comes to stuff like this. It is. I mean, we're dealing with people, and you try to love and get along with everybody. I get along with people of all those descriptions, with my lesbian neighbors right behind me, with my atheist neighbor on one side, I get along with them. I've got family members who are atheists. I got friends who are Christians of all different stripes and denominations. We still have to get along.
Yeah.
And I strive for that. Social media encompasses more than just these YouTube viewership. And so I've run across those who, if they differ with what they find out about you, and other social media, suddenly they don't even want to speak to you because you differ with them, let's say politically. Okay, fine, whatever, dude. That's on you. If that's the way I get along with pretty much anybody. But if that's the way you want to be, okay, fine.
I've run into,
you know what? I'm going to be who I am.
Yeah, but I've run into a problem where I'm not mentioning names, where I was watching a review and it was interesting, and I asked that person a question, never bothered to answer me, so maybe he hadn't looked at it yet. So I sent that person the question I was seeking, if he would let me know, blah, blah, blah. And something told me, well, maybe he's just not digging you. So I just left it alone.
And it could be. I mean, everybody's got their own personal preferences. There are people I like, people I don't like in life. That's just life.
That's it.
And there's some people that even though I don't want to be their best buddy, I still want to be on friendly terms with them.
Yeah.
I still want to at least associate on a friendly basis. If at all possible, live at peace with all men.
Yeah. Yeah.
And okay, fine. Some people don't necessarily want to follow by that. Okay, fine. Do I see hypocrisy in life in general, in the church? Cliquishness in the pen community? Sure. I see, but I see cliquishness in the church, at almost every church I've been to.
Yep.
Or every organization I've been to. In the Boy Scouts, there's cliquishness there too. It's life. I'm going to run across it. There are those who are going to be more prone to it than others. But you know what? I'm going to be right here where I am, being who I am. And if it means I got far fewer subscribers than others, I don't care.
Same here.
This is a hobby. I'm not doing this as a business, and I'm not trying to succeed or compete with anybody. I am who I am. This is where I'll be. Welcome aboard if you come, and if you don't, okay. Hey, love you anyway.
And this cliquishness reminds me of when I was going to school. That's what it reminds me of. Everybody had their own little groupies, and no, you couldn't be in this group, or nah, not in that group, or this group. So that's what it reminds me of. And it's never going to end, okay? People will be people, and that's how they are. So you have to ignore that and move on and be who you are. They're either going to like you or not. Yep. Don't worry about who likes you or not. Do you like what you're doing? Focus on that and continue with your journey, and that's it. So now,
and you
go ahead.
And you were talking about people who haven't responded to you. I can only think of one I've run across where I look back over my message history like, oh wow, I never really did respond to that person. Oops. Because I try to keep up with people, and somebody asked me a question, I think through an Instagram instant message, and I was looking back over my message history like, ooh, I missed that one. Sorry.
Well, this person did the same thing at the pen show. Wow. Okay, I'm saying, all right, I'm going to just leave here and go over here. Goodbye. So that's the end of that.
There are people I'll run across at a pen show that will never say hello to me, and that's fine.
Yeah,
even though I know them, they know who I am.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Walked away. Okay, not going good. Well, okay, I'm leaving. So I'm gone. So I guess I'm not going to buy that pen today.
Yeah. I'm still here.
So here's one of your biggest questions out of all of them. Okay, I'm a dog lover. End of story. Love dogs. Dogs rule. Yep. So here's one about your buddy and now my buddy. Tell us about the great dog you have named Slime. I love the name. I really do. So tell us the story, how you come up with the name and how you got Slime. Slime rocks.
Right. There is a story to it. When I was single and I had met Sharon, we met in December. Our first date was December the 3rd of 2007. And she was living about an hour driving distance from where I'm sitting here. And her parents, her dad anyway, her dad was remarried, had divorced from her mom. Dad was living down in the middle of the country, out in the middle of nowhere. When I mean out in the middle of nowhere, I mean they got Saturday Night Live on Tuesday, kind of thing. That far out in the country. So he and his wife were out on a Caribbean cruise in January of 2008. Sharon and I had obviously been dating for a little bit. And she said, hey, I got a house sit for my dad. Why don't you come on down? He's got a big screen TV. We'll watch a few movies and we'll have dinner. Okay. So I went down and we had dinner together. We watched, I think we were watching Mr. Holland's Opus together. And there was this dog chained to a clothesline pole in their front yard. Now, I live in the South, but it still gets cold in January around here. And this poor dog, his entire life was that 10-foot chain. It had been raining. It was muddy. And all he was able to step in was mud and his own feces. So they were trying to get him fed, but they just put a bowl with some dry dog food, but because it had been raining, it was just soggy. This dog was obviously starved for attention. So when I went with Sharon to walk up to the front door, along came running this dog who just was with his big old puppy eyes, looking for attention, wagging his tail, all excited. And so I went to go pet him, and I asked what his name was. Nobody knew what his name was. The dog had been dumped off by a family member who had to leave their apartment and couldn't have a pet anymore in their new place. So they just chained the dog out to the front yard, and that's where that dog was going to stay. So I felt bad for him. But no one knew his name. They just called him Blackie because he was black colored. So I bent down and started petting him, and he started jumping up with his little paws all over me and muddy paws all over my jacket. It's like, ooh, you're just a slimy dog. And he responded to that. He responded very well to that. So he whimpered and whined when we went inside because I didn't get to continue to give him affection. And when I left, pet him again. So I felt bad for him. I went out and I bought a doghouse for him and cans of moist food. So went back the next day, put the doghouse for he at least have shelter from the rain. He didn't know how to use it. He was that dumb. He just didn't know how to use a doghouse. So the next day after that, I think it was going to be about 20 degrees at night. And like I said, it had been raining. So I said, 20 degrees is cold. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you got a fur coat on or not. But if you've been getting soaked and rained on and you're a dog and you got no shelter, you got no way to get out of the rain. Even with this doghouse, he doesn't know how to use. I said, this is just wrong. I'm not going to let this dog starve to death on my watch. So, I'd gone by and I before Sharon got off work to come, I'd stayed and petted the dog for a while, gave him some affection. And I just threw him in as I was leaving, I said, I'm going to take the dog home. I'm not going to let him starve to death. If they want him back, they know where he is. So I grabbed his doghouse, threw it in the back of him. I had an old station wagon at the time. Threw it in the back of my station wagon, unchained him from the pole, threw him in my car, and took him home, gave him a hot bath. So he was all nice and clean and got all the mud out of his fur. And I didn't know what to call him. So I said, you just been such a slimy dog, slime dog. And he's been here ever since. So since January of 2008, we have no idea how old he was. My oldest, who's 18, barely knows life without him because when Sharon had him in 2003. I met him when he was 4, almost 5. So for the past 13 or plus years of his life, he's known Old Slime Dog being in his life. My younger 2 don't know life without him. His face has gotten totally white, and nobody knows how old he is. The vet thinks he was probably 4 plus years old when I got him. I don't know. We still don't know what his name used to be. so Old Slime Dog is Old Slime Dog's been in our life, and he's old, he's lazy, he's going deaf now. He's really hard of hearing. But he's actually turned out to be a really good dog.
Bless his heart.
A very affectionate, loyal dog.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, give him all the love you can while he's here. Yep.
He's got a bad hip. Oh, he's full of arthritis, got a bad hip. He limps around, but he's had a happy life. That's what I'll say. He has had a very happy life for the past 13 years.
Cool. All right. Now, here's our last question. I know you have a busy life with family, and then work comes into play. So how do you find time to work with fountain pens? Not only do you review pens, you have to restore some pens. You have to do your homework on pens before you do a review on them. People don't understand. I think we just get up here and say, well, this is a fountain pen, blah, 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 does this, that. No, it takes more than that. How do you do all this with your plate full?
Well, it hasn't been as easy this past year. I've probably put out less videos than normal this past year because my kids are home 24 hours a day sometimes. And it's not always quiet, as you found out. So the key is finding some downtime. There's no shortage of stuff to talk about. Sometimes it's about what not to talk about. Or, I had plans to do a video on Star Wars pens because I had several Star Wars pens in my collection, and I'm a big Star Wars fan. I got like Yoda and Darth Vader up here. I've got, I've got Star Wars toys all over my office. Yeah. Kind of thing. Star Wars shirts and stuff. I got a bunch of Star Wars pens. I was going to do a video on that. I just never got to it because I got too busy. But I'll probably do one on that SD here on my desk. I'll probably do one on that Jade Schaefer. It's a matter of making the time. Sometimes because I don't sleep, and I haven't really slept well in 30 some years, I'll wake up 3, 4 in the morning. Can't go back to sleep, and I go, I've been working on getting the information together for the video on whatever pen it was, and I'll just. I'm not going to get back to sleep right now. There's just no way. So I'll come in here and I'll turn on the video camera and I'll just start recording. And then I'll do the edit process afterwards. And I haven't wanted to do the video editing because of that horrible laptop that I bought last summer. It's been slow. And I'm still trying to get up to speed with this new Mac that I'm on right now, which I'm not 100% yet. There's a lot of stuff it didn't come with that I'm having to figure out, but I'll be back fully in the saddle soon enough. But it's a matter of finding the time, carving out the time. But at the same time, I've got to be a dad. I've got to, my wife doesn't cook. I do all the cooking in the house. Quite honestly, I'm a better cook than she is. Better than she ever thought of being.
And she loves it.
So I do. Yeah, she doesn't complain.
No.
So I'll be doing cooking supper here soon, kind of thing. So I got to carve out time with my sweetie. I got to carve out time sometimes with my boys. The job, because it's a technical job and sometimes I do troubleshooting. I don't always know how long I have to work. There's some things I have cut out of my life that I just said, I'm done spending time with that because it's not really benefiting me. It's not benefiting the people I'm associating with, really. So let's cut that part out. So, all right, always looking at what's beneficial, what's not. My obligations as a dad are always there. Obligations as a husband are always there. Fountain pens, not so much. So I try to prioritize it, and I try not to let that take over my family life. But there are times where I just go, hey, you know what? I don't have anything going on. I'm going to go work on recording a video. So I've got a couple of recording lights that I turn on that, shine red, which basically mean stay out of my office. And they don't always pay attention to that. But it's just a matter of taking the opportunity when it presents itself and feeling up to it. Larry, as well as I do, you get a little older. Sometimes, I'm just not feeling up to that today. Not feeling it today. My back hurts. I want to go yell at someone to get off my lawn. I'm getting old.
Oh, my legs are aching. I understand it. Yeah. Wow. Well, is there anything else you'd like to cover before we say adios?
I'll tell you what, Larry, there's something I'll do for your viewers.
Yeah.
I shared a little while ago that with you and some others that I got some pens for giveaway.
Right. I'll be doing a review on that soon. Yes.
Right. And I'll tell you what I'll do is why don't I pull 5 folks either at random or the first 5 that respond that they want to give away. I don't care if they respond to you and you pick 5 winners and I'll send them out. I don't care if they respond through my website and get in touch with me.
Why don't they respond to your website? I think that's
very good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Respond to Troy's website. That's it. Okay, check that out. To get one of them pins, go to Troy's website right there. There's how you get in touch with him.
TroyLaPlante.com. There's an email link at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of that page. If you go there, you send me an email or reach me. Also, you can get me through social media from that same webpage. And it depends on how many people respond. If I get a bunch of them, I'll pick 5 at random.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll send them out. I've already sent out a bunch of these here because I promised some to people, and I ordered all the stock that this one person had of these pens in the Netherlands. So I just got everything they had, bought them all just so I could give them away. And I'll include, I also went out and bought a bunch of appropriate Watermen ink cartridges. These are all Watermen GIFs. It's a student pen. It's not a top high-end pen, but they are good, reliable pens. I personally use them a lot. My family has got them. I've given a bunch of them away. And they're just good, reliable, cost-effective pens. As a matter of fact, speaking of cost-effective, it's cost me 3 times to ship them than what I paid for them, depending upon where they're going.
Yeah, especially if they go out of the U.S.
Yeah, I've sent to Israel, Canada, and Australia.
I can't afford it. It just beyond my cost. So I mean,
yeah, continental U.S. I just shipped several more out. I've got another one ready to go out on Monday. So for people who have said previous that they wanted them, I'm getting those out in the mail if they haven't already arrived. So, but I'll give away at least 5 of them to your viewers just for watching and knowing about it. And obviously, you have to have gotten to the end of this video and watched this far to know about it.
Yes. Okay, so folks, here it is. Don't email me if you want one of them pins. Email Troy. That's the guy you want to email. Okay. So I think we're going to do, Mr. Announcer, you'll probably break it up in 2 parts.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half, so I'll put it into 2.
In 2. So he's going to put it into 2 parts. And
right. And you can get a hold of me through here right too. You can find my YouTube channel right there.
Right there.
FountainPenFanatic.com.
Yeah, hang out with Troy a while because I may be out of space or somewhere sometime. Who knows where I'll be. But anyway, so Troy, we're going to have to do this again. And next time we do it, you're going to have to bring Slime Dog in.
He's actually walked through my office several times. So maybe we can
pick him up right now or anything.
He doesn't like to be picked up at all. Oh no. He's old. He doesn't like to be picked up. His hip hurts.
So,
he gets a little ornery when you do that because he's too big to pick up. I mean, he's like
a giant. Okay, big guy.
He's not huge, but he's definitely an armful. But maybe sometime we can squeeze Matthew in for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
All right, my friend. Well, hey, it's been fun. We're going to do this again, for real. And
Sure.
take care, my friend. Enjoyed having you today. Until next time, be safe out there. God bless. Take care, my friend.
See you guys.
Bye.